Alright, so tonight decided I can do a little board work, and this is sort of about as bad as my work area gets, but yeah, it's a bit of a mess. Anyways, for the board work, basically what I've done is I've collected a bunch of parts over time to be able to do this sort of thing, and what I've got in here is assortment of sockets, various sizes, number of pins. These are the good ones, by the way. Most of the stuff I get is from Great Plains. What do I got in here? A whole bunch of transistors, various types. Tip 120s, 102s, tip 36Cs, etc., etc. Various types in here. Just various resistors, capacitors. Capacitors take up room, so I end up putting them elsewhere all over the place, basically, depending on the size of them. And then a whole bunch of different fuses, obviously, the micro fuses. And then I got a bunch of assorted things like CPUs, PIAs, and other devices that go bad. And then getting into certain areas, I'll have memory chips, and then I get into things like TTL logic chips, all kinds of diodes of various sizes, and then a whole lot more TTL logic chips in here, and pretty well going through a lot of the different chips that are out there that are commonly used. So in an area of about that big, it's about 80% of the inventory I really need to do most of the work. The other stuff I have is basically some capacitors of various sizes. No matter how much of this stuff you have, you can never have exactly all the equipment that you need to be able to fix something. So anyways, here's a bunch more crap I've got, and I've got some stuff all stowed away here, there, and everywhere. So yeah, a bit of a mad scientist, but you need this crap to be able to get through. Anyways, here's a dead transformer. Goodbye. It's out of hyperball. It's being fixed. So what I've got basically right now is I've got a situation where the 5-volt supply on this thing is down to 3.29 volts when I start up. And that was a situation where I measured off a TP1 here and found that this is basically the reason why the game boots slowly. The previous guy did an HV repair, which looks actually quite reasonable, but he didn't clean up all of his flux here. So I'm going to be spraying this board down with a flux remover and then basically scrubbing it all down to get rid of all that loose crap on here. And my basic focus right now is on this capacitor C8, this large capacitor C10, and this transistor here. So what I'm going to be doing is get this powered up, and we'll get some water on. And at this point I'm going to have 2 tips hot. What I've got in here is basically a vacuum pump desoldering tool that pulls the solder out and captures in a little screen there. And then I've just got basically a temperature controlled soldering tip, and then some other devices we're not going to use here. So next stage is basically desolder. These 2 components I have. This one I don't, so I'm going to be actually replacing these 2 and then putting it back in circuit and testing for the 5 volts. So that'll only take me a couple of minutes here. I'll clean up this board in the interim and carry on from there.